lasting nearly 3 years, she finally regained the full use of her limbs. During those first few years, living at Barnard Forest Monastery was extremely difficult. All the basic necessities of life were in short supply. Mai Chi, Kaew, and the other nuns made their robes from shrouds used to cover dead bodies. Their pillows were stuffed with straw that had been offered to the monks. Their sandals were cut from old tire treads. The food was mostly plain and unsavory, just enough to get them through each day. Maichi Kayu would later find it difficult to describe how hard it was to live at Ban Tad Forest Monastery during those early years. By 1960, the outside world began to impact the forest meditation tradition in a way that forever altered the traditional landscape. Deforestation became rapid and pervasive, forcing the forest monks to modify and eventually curtail their wandering lifestyle. As the geographic environment changed, Ban Tad Forest Monastery found itself in the forefront of efforts to establish permanent monastic communities where practicing monks and nuns could carry on Ajahn Mun's legacy, striving to maintain the virtues of renunciation, strict discipline, and intensive meditation. With his charismatic presence and forthright nature, Ajahn Mahabua became a pivotal figure in efforts to maintain continuity within the fraternity of forest monks, and so preserve Ajahn Mun's unique style of practice for future generations. Displaying impeccable wisdom and great rhetorical skill, he worked tirelessly to present Ajahn Mun's life and teachings to an increasingly wider audience. Practitioners soon began gravitating to Ajahn Mahabua's monastery in hopes of receiving instruction from a genuine master. The influx of seekers eventually transformed the monastery into a renowned center of Buddhist practice. In this process, Mai Chi Kayu, with her simple and unsophisticated speaking, remained in the shadow of her distinguished teacher, quietly advising and encouraging the women who came to join the community of monastics. As the health of Majan Mahabua's mother improved, Mai Chi Kayu gently persuaded her to focus fully on meditation. Wanting her to develop a solid foundation in the practice, she impressed the older woman to strive diligently and to wait patiently for the results. The pace of her progress would depend largely on the store of virtuous tendencies she had accumulated from the past, and on the account of effort that she currently put into sitting and walking meditation. By constantly cultivating virtue and never permitting evil to enter her thoughts, her presence of mind would become clearer and her understanding more penetrating. Eventually, she would realize that everything is created by the mind. The eyes see images, the ears hear sounds, the nose smells aromas, the tongue tastes flavors, the body feels sensations, and the heart experiences emotions. But the mind is aware of all those things. It knows them and thinks about them, imagining them to be something concrete and real. By cultivating spontaneous mindfulness and wisdom, the mind's activities can be seen for what they truly are: transient, unsubstantial, and bound up with suffering. Without the proper focus, defilements will drag the mind along in their wake, overwhelming it with their powerful natural momentum. Before one realizes what has happened, lust, anger, greed, and delusion have taken over, and presence of mind is lost. To prevent that lapse, Mai Chi Kayu urged the elderly woman to observe her mind carefully and to learn to discern the movement of its defiling influences. Maichi Kayu's words of wisdom and encouragement inspired Ajahn Mahabua's mother and put her meditation firmly on the right track. As the years passed, her heart developed a solid spiritual foundation. By the time Maichi Kayu departed from Bantad Forest Monastery in 1967, she had succeeded in placing the elderly Maichi squarely on the Buddha's noble path. Before asking a question, look for the answer within yourself. If you search, often you will find the answer on your own. Lifelong commitment. By 1967, Ajahn Mahabua's mother and the other Maichis, practicing under Maichi Kayu's guidance, were firmly established in the principles of meditation. With Ajahn Mahabua's approval, Maichi Kayu respectfully took leave of him and returned to the nunnery at Ban Huai Sai during her long stay at Ban Tad Forest Monastery. Maichi Kayu had worried about her sisters there and kept in contact with them. She traveled several times a year to visit with the nuns at Ban Huai Sai, bringing much needed supplies to supplement their stock of basic requisites. Now, with Ajahn Mahabua's blessing, she moved back to take up residence at the nunnery she founded. Maichi Kayu continued to live there until she passed away 24 years later. In moving back to Ban Huai Sai, Maichi Kayu resumed her duties as the spiritual head of the nunnery. Life there had remained quiet and simple, with an emphasis on developing mindfulness in every daily activity. All the nuns adhered to the strict guiding principles that Maichi Kayu laid down for them and conscientiously observed the 8 moral precepts. In her quiet yet forceful way, she impressed upon everyone the virtues of renunciation. Now that you have ordained and come to live in this nunnery with me and the other nuns, you must always think, speak, and act with the noblest intentions. You have renounced the mundane world for the purpose of training yourself in the art of cleansing your heart. Don't concern yourself with the worldly life you have left behind. It's time to cease worrying about home and family. She admonished the nuns never to talk about indecent matters, but instead to talk only about matters of real substance. She wanted them to be exemplary monastics who were patient in their endurance of hardship, diligent in their practice of meditation, and always striving to learn the truth about themselves. They were not to fret about lost opportunities of the past or anticipate future rewards. Such thoughts would only deceive them. She warned them to fight against tendencies to laziness and not simply surrender to their pillows. They were to watch their thoughts carefully and search only for the truth that lay within their own hearts. She wanted her students to trust the way of the Lord Buddha. At the same time, she encouraged them to focus intently on each forward step as they sought to find their own path. Because that path lies within the hearts and minds of each individual, it was up to each of her students to search within herself to discover the way to transcend suffering. She encouraged them to remain tough-minded and diligent until they reached the final goal. Hello, Jason, peace be upon you. I hope you're doing well. Hello, Jason, peace be upon you. I hope you're doing well. Each time that she sensed the nuns slacking, she challenged them to evaluate their progress. Oh, it's a book about a Buddhist nun. It's her biography. She admonished the nuns never to talk about indecent matters, but instead to talk only about matters of real substance. She wanted them to be exemplary monastics who were patient in their endurance of hardship, diligent in their practice of meditation, and always striving to learn the truth about themselves. They were not to fret about lost opportunities of the past or anticipate future rewards. Such thoughts would only deceive them. She warned them to fight against tendencies to laziness and not simply surrender to their pillows. They were to watch their thoughts carefully and search only for the truth that lay within their own hearts. I'm over 30 years old. I'm a 90s kid. She wanted her students to trust the way of the Lord Buddha. At the same time, she encouraged them to focus intently on each forward step as they sought to find their own path. Because that path lies within the hearts and minds of each individual, it was up to each of her students to search within herself to discover the way to transcend suffering. She encouraged them to remain tough-minded and diligent until they reached the final goal. Each time that she sensed the nuns slacking, she challenged them to evaluate their progress. Many of you have been studying with me for a long time, but how many real successes can you count? Your present attachments far outnumber your accomplishments. If you don't believe me, ask yourself, how many attachments have I actually cut off? Even the celestial devas are born only to die and be born again. Hello, I don't have beans 308. Peace be upon you. How many attachments have I actually cut off? Even the celestial devas are born only to die and be born again. Just like you, they are attached to the importance of their fleeting lives. It's just this longing for birth, this longing for life, which causes all beings to be continually reborn in the world of suffering. There is no room for negligence in the spiritual life. You are now striving for moral virtue and true happiness. Many of us, both old and young, are living this life together. We must all patiently endure the inevitable hardships of a nun's simple existence without becoming lazy or disgruntled. Let love and compassion be your ready response to every situation. Be gentle and deferential to your spiritual sisters, and accept criticism from your teacher gratefully. When I complain about your behavior, understand that I am teaching you. My criticisms are voiced for your own good. It is imperative that you show respect to your teacher and all your fellow nuns. Hello, Effie, peace be upon you. I hope you're doing well. My criticisms are voiced for your own good. It is imperative that you show respect to your teacher and all your fellow nuns. A junior nun is expected to bow to her seniors, even if that nun is senior merely by a single day. As long as you cheerfully accept your proper status in the community, we will all live together in a spirit of contentment. Love, compassion, and sympathetic joy will develop and expand until they fill our hearts, spreading out to each other and to all living beings everywhere. Ajahn Mahabua made regular visits to the nunnery and often lauded my chee kaew as an outstanding example for nuns and lay devotees to emulate. In truth, her practice of Dharma was a model which all Buddhists should follow. He invited her disciples to reflect on her exceptional courage and resolve, and on her supreme wisdom and compassion. They were the qualities that buoyed her practice and steadied her course, and finally delivered her to the deathless state beyond all possibility of deterioration. Transcending both suffering and happiness, Mai Chi Kayu practiced the Dharma teaching of the fully enlightened one, the Lord Buddha, to its ultimate transcendence. As disciples of the Buddha, we mustn't live our lives only to rot and decompose without having anything genuine within ourselves. When death comes, die letting go of the body and the mind, laying them down without attachment. Pureness of heart. For the next 10 years, Mai Chi Kayu energetically committed herself to the spiritual well-being of the community she had founded. Then suddenly in June of 1977, she fell seriously ill. The symptoms had been accumulating in her body for some time, but not wanting to inconvenience others, she had kept quiet about them. When her condition became too obvious to hide, she was admitted to a hospital. The doctors discovered that she had tuberculosis in one of her lungs. Further tests revealed that she had diabetes as well. By then her body was weak and pale and racked by severe pain. Her symptoms had already reached a critical stage. Fearful of the worst, the medical staff suspected that her case was terminal. The most favorable prognosis was that she might live another year or two with constant medical attention. Then when Mai Chi Kayu started wheezing and coughing blood, more tests were administered. The doctors discovered a malignant tumor lodged within her other lung. With 3 diseases now confirmed, tuberculosis, diabetes, and cancer, her prospects for survival dimmed. A month after being admitted, Mai Chi Kayu insisted on leaving the hospital and returning to her nunnery. Even though her condition remained very critical, if she was going to die, she preferred to die in the peace and tranquility of the forest she loved, surrounded by the care and affection of her spiritual companions. Although her body was weighed down by sickness, her heart was free of all burdens. Mai Chi Kayu was not concerned for her own well-being, and she had no fear of dying. The welfare of her companions, her supporters, and her friends was far more important to her. Her nature shone with a clear brightness that illuminated their paths and lightened their hearts. Difficulties seemed to dissolve in the presence of her pure love. There was only one place she wanted to live. There was only one place she wanted to live out her final days, the place where she could be of the greatest benefit to the most people. A medical doctor from Bangkok, a lady devotee named Dr. Pensri Makaranan, volunteered to join Mai Chi Kayu at Ban Huai Sai to oversee her medical treatment. Dr. Pensri, who had been a practicing physician for 20 years, started by treating the tuberculosis and the diabetes with the most up-to-date remedies known to her up-to-date remedies known to her profession. She administered a strict regimen of antibiotics to counter the tuberculosis and gave regular insulin injections to curb the diabetes. But for the cancer she had no remedy, so administered none. Dr. Penstre would later recall that treating Mai Chi Kayu was the hardest assignment of her medical career. She felt she lacked the spiritual training needed to treat an arahant to the best of her ability, while at the same time not being disrespectful of the wishes of her enlightened patient. Aware that people who recover from one disease, aware, aware that people who recover from one disease are bound to die from another, Dr. Penstrew focused on treating the sick person rather than the disease. That's all for today, guys. Peace be upon you.